What's up, my brother?
How you doing?
Good. What's going on? How you doing? All right?
I got batteries.
Oh, that clock is so awesome. Look at that.
I had to put batteries. I'm like, oh, I gotta get batteries. I have batteries.
It looks great.
Thank you.
Now, did you get the clock obviously, and then just altered it, or how'd you do that?
No, actually, I made it out of a piece of plywood,
Okay.
and then I painted it,
Oh, so
and
you
then
just did everything from scratch,
yeah. It's all
the
homemade,
whole clock. Oh, wow.
the whole
Okay.
thing.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
and then
Very
let's
nice.
see, I printed the Rocky logo, which
Hmm.
is the same logo as I have on my what are these called? Director's chairs or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
and on my tables, and I think on the top of my chest set. And then I did buy the LED neon lights
Right. Right.
on eBay. Boy, if I knew how to make those, you
Yeah. Right.
know,
That's
we'd
so
be
cool, though.
talking
That's very
different
cool.
tax bracket.
Yeah. Exactly. It
But
looks
yeah,
awesome.
thank you. It's just
No, it looks very cool.
I like to keep the mind busy. So how you
Yeah,
been?
well, you're retired and semi-retired, so you have to, I guess, right?
That's right.
I'm doing okay. I'm doing. I actually, speaking of how we're doing, let me find the logo there. We got the round 14 fitness going
There it
on still.
is.
Let's let everybody forget. Let's throw those
Nope.
flattering pictures up of us. Yeah, look at that Thanksgiving Day parade float. There you go. There you go. There's
Yeah.
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 So that I've lost 12 pounds in the
That's
past three and a half
awesome, buddy.
weeks. Yeah, yeah, it's getting there. I actually had a cardiologist appointment today. Not that anybody wants to hear about that nonsense, but he said everything looks good. He goes, just continue on the weight loss path and you'll be good. So
That's
yeah, so
great.
I'm
Well,
feeling
what have you
good.
been doing?
Just you know what? I haven't been doing anything different. I've just been more consistent with it, to be very
Okay.
honest. I what you know how I when I'm working on the job site. I mean, the other day I had 3 pallets of 72 cinder blocks each pallet, and I had to
Oh
throw
yeah.
them all into a dumpster, which is over my head. So I have that kind of workout during the day sometimes,
Oh
but
yeah.
in the evening when I'm going to the gym, I'm either using the garage, which I have a little bit of a makeshift gym down there from the COVID times
Okay.
that I use if I don't feel like driving to the gym,
Sure.
or going to the actual gym itself. But I just been going more often. Before I was going once, twice, 3 times a lady. I've been going this time now. I'm going 2, 3, 4 times, but more
Okay.
consistently. I've been going each week for the past 3 weeks. I have not gone.
Oh, good.
So it's just like anything else. If you're consistent and keep it moving, keep moving forward,
That's
it'll
it.
happen. So
That's what I've heard. It's all about consistency.
yeah,
All
so
about
it feels
consistency.
feel good. So hopefully you're doing in the same boat there. I know you're a busy man, so it's tough sometimes, but
I just been, the treadmill, 45 minutes at a
nice.
brisk walk right now. I was doing the weights and I'll get back into the weights, but I'm like, you know what? Let's get going with the treadmill and get some motivation.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, but getting the motivation, that's the tough part about it is that sometimes you just didn't feel like doing it. And then once you start, that snowball starts rolling downhill a little bit,
Yeah.
it's getting bigger and bigger. And you're like, wow, now I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I'm starting to enjoy
Yep.
it now. And it's not such a struggle. And I think losing the actual weight of, I mean, you know how it is walking with our
Oh yeah.
frames.
Oh
It's,
yeah.
it's a lot of pressure on our knees, our back.
Sure.
We lose that weight and we lighten the load. It's not
Yeah.
as painful, so it works out well. So yeah, good man, good.
Yeah.
We're
Good for
getting there.
you. I actually found that I'm getting up at 7 and doing it in the morning
Yeah,
it's just easier for me because
I wish I could go.
hey, when I was working, I had to be on the job site early like you. So,
Yeah,
for a year I was getting up at 4:30 and I'm like,
yeah,
this is nuts. But
yeah.
now, I get up at 7, I'll do what I got to do. And then I got the rest of the day ahead of me.
Nice,
So, you know, yeah.
good stuff. Well, we're getting there. Hey, we didn't put we purposely didn't put a time limit or We originally said a 90-day challenge type of deal, and then a bunch of monkey wrenches got thrown on both ends.
Oh yeah.
So, I think it's smart of us to just say, let's get in the best, healthiest shape we can be in, feeling good, looking good, feeling better. And,
Sure.
if it happens in 2 months, happens in 3 months, happens in 6 months, as long as it happens. So
That's all. That's all.
I guess
I got my eye on some clothes I want to put back on.
Oh, tell me about it. 3/4 of my closet I can't even wear.
I know. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna get back on sometime soon.
So, well, speaking of being in shape and getting into shape, you had a very busy weekend of a bunch of fellas and then ladies, sorry, that are all about being in shape and being fit. And
Oh yeah.
you were up at the Boxing Hall of Fame.
I was most
for the weekend, correct?
I was.
Yeah. So
And,
you have a lot of stories to tell us, my friend. There
I do.
There it is.
So as you get off the throughway, the New York State Thruway, exit 36 or whatever. I know I can't remember 40, whatever. And anyhow, so as soon as you get off the exit, there is the Canastota Boxing Hall of Fame. It is right off the exit.
Very cool.
And beautifully maintained. And last weekend was the inauguration weekend. They do it every year. The sports writers will vote, just like the baseball, football, basketball.
Sure, just like anything else. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they'll whoever gets inducted, who's voted in will get inducted. Now there's 5 or 6 boxing Hall of Fames throughout the United States, but Canastota is the granddaddy.
Okay.
The boxers say if you get inducted into Canastota, you know you've made it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
well, somebody that made it. Now this wasn't last weekend, unfortunately.
No,
I wish it was, but this was 2011, and they inducted our man Sylvester Stallone into the Boxing Hall of Fame, International Boxing Hall of Fame, I should say.
Yes.
And then when you were there, you took a picture of his plaque there. There it is.
Right.
So he's had a huge impact on boxing. I'm sure that was part of his acceptance speech and why he was getting inducted.
Absolutely. And I showed you this before. I'll try to show the viewers at home. I saved this from 2011. I was going to go, but it was a complete zoo.
Yeah,
you couldn't get near the place.
Here it is. Here it is. That's what
this was in
2011.
Yeah, this was in our paper, and Stallone was here. He was a half an hour from my house.
That's so
Can you believe
it? That's so cool. And he also was inducted with Mike Tyson. Was up there the same year.
He was, and if you go on their site or if you just Google it or whatever, you'll see a whole bunch of photos with Sly and Iron Mike together. And
cool.
Knowing now, having been a volunteer for the past 2 years, boy, how I wish I gotten back to it back then.
All right.
Because
Could you imagine?
We are elbow to elbow with these boxers, these celebrities.
Right.
I spend the day with these people.
Very cool.
Not all of them. Some of them are, I want to say they have their entourage or, the more that's really bad English. The well-known, really popular,
right?
Like Mayweather,
right?
He kind of has his entourage, his own security guards.
Sure, he doesn't need it, right?
Yeah, we're there to provide security. I do security.
Yeah,
we're there to provide, but let's face it, the dudes who are getting paid, they're the ones who got it going on. We're just putting them in. You go that way.
Well, I'm just going to put some of these pictures up there, and you can start elaborating on who's who, and we can just have fun with it and take it from there. So we'll do the first one here.
Okay, this is I would love to say my good friend Kenny Bayless, but he's not a good friend. But I'm going to tell you something right now. That was taken last weekend. I also have a picture with him prior. I think it was last season with Kenny Bayless.
Okay.
But we met Kenny's a boxing referee. Kenny is very well known in the circles. We first met Kenny on the set of Creed 2.
Oh, okay.
And, yes. And we met him, and Tony, Debbie and I talked to him we chatted a couple minutes. But, after we got through talking with him, we both looked at each other and like, you know what? That is the nicest man you would ever want to meet.
That's so cool.
He was so pleasant. So, if I get long-winded, just give me the whatever.
We have a lot of people to cover, so try to keep it short.
Okay. I don't have stories about all of them, but the particular ones. So Thursday, I was working security, and we were at the Turning Stone Casino, which is just up the road because we had that smoke problem. I don't know if you heard about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So they moved it up there. Well, I'm working security. I'm in the main area, and Kenny comes down and he sits down right next to where I'm standing. So I'm just, we're being cool, trying to give him a space. There's a break in the action, and I just kind of leaned over. I said, Mr. Bayless, blah, 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 Creed 2. I met you. We thought you were just the most personable person in the world. You were so nice. And Tony, he grabbed me, and he basically sat me down next to him, and he talked to me for 45 minutes. He was telling me all about the stuff, the ins and the outs and the behind the scenes with Creed 2 and his wife. Oh my God. What is the word? It just made our impression of him that much more rock solid.
Sure.
Just the nicest person. He was going, and he was getting he's like me. We're getting animated, and we're talking about the green and the green screens and anyway.
That's so cool. That's good to hear that is, there's people out there that don't, because there's a lot, let's face it, there's a lot of knuckleheads out there that, they get a little bit of fame and it's somebody just wants to shake their hand and it's a big deal. But it's nice to hear that there are people out there that, don't mind it if
Kenny he'd be like the dude next door you want to have a barbecue with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
He would just
and if a fight breaks out, he could jump right in the middle and start rapping.
That's right. That's right. He was telling me about tricks and stunts that they were playing on him during the taping. Like they wouldn't tell him that they were going to do something just to see what his reaction would look like on tape.
Right.
And he's laughing about it and talking. And I'm like, Kenny, look, I know you're not here to talk to me. Please, focus your attention on what they were doing, the fist casting, which there'll be a picture of later. And he's like, no. He goes, I don't get to talk about that this much with people who are on set.
Sure.
So it was really cool.
Well, you might as well jump into that next one. Speaking of the fist cast, you got that right there. There you go.
That is.
And I'm assuming it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a cast of your fist.
Yes.
For the boxers that get inducted, I'm assuming it's
correct. Every boxer who gets inducted, male or female, will get their fist cast, and it takes start to finish about 25 hours.
Oh wow!
To polish, and they use a certain copper gold spray. That was Robert Garcia, by the way, who is now a very well-known trainer. I want to say he has 7 of his boxers he's brought to title fights.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he was a fighter himself back in the day.
Right.
He was a featherweight. He was 37-3 inducted this year.
Geez. That's nothing to sneeze at. Nice.
And again, I'm with these guys on and off. So nice. And Thursday was Friday was a Q&A. So any of the boxers who were being inducted, they came into the auditorium and they would tell their story, and audience members could stand up and ask questions. And Robert Garcia was just so eloquent. He was just very knowledgeable. His story is very inspirational. Very inspirational.
Very cool. Speaking of inspirational, this young lady had a movie made about her.
Oh well, it wasn't made about her, but she was definitely in it. Um, if you
Well,
ever
true.
saw,
That's true. I
yes,
misspoke. You're right.
uh, if you ever saw $1 Million Baby
Uh,
with Clint Eastwood
yeah.
and Morgan Freeman and Hilary Swank,
Couple of good actors there. You know,
yeah, you might have heard of them.
they can hold their own.
Yeah, they've been around for a little while. She played. Her name is Lucia Riker, and she played the part of the Blue Bear in $1 Million Baby, who was the one who fought against Hilary Swank's character,
Mm-hmm.
and she was the one who sucker punched her and sent her into uh, the chair in her corner. Which, disclaimer, old movie, broke her neck.
Yeah.
So,
Very
but you know
cool.
what? I'm going to tell you something. I talked with Lucia for a few minutes, and because I met her on Friday, and then I saw her again on Saturday. And I was talking to her, and I said, you know what? I said I went home that night and we watched the movie. I said, man, did you put on a performance? I said, I hated you in that movie. She's like, oh, that's just all acting. I said, you know what? You know how I know you're absolutely correct? It's because I listened to your Q&A yesterday.
Right.
And this woman is nothing but peace, love, and she's from Germany. Um, she doesn't have like a mean bone in her body. It seems like
Yeah.
she's just
Yeah.
all
Well, she was. Correct me if I'm wrong. She was dubbed like the most dangerous woman in the world, or something along
yes,
those lines back then. So,
yeah. She was a very good boxer. I want to say she was. Let's see. I did write notes because there were so many of them.
yeah. Well, it's a lot
It's
of information to keep in there. So it's
yeah. Uh, yeah, the Blue Bear 17-0, 14 KOs, inducted in 20 this year, and the IWBA boxing world champion.
wow.
So yeah,
Impressive resume right there.
to look
Very
at her
impressive
but to
resume.
talk to her, you would think, and she's our age. She was
Yeah.
born in '67.
Okay.
Well, yeah, she's and to listen to her speak on the stage that day, it's just like, yeah, she's doing all kinds of charities for students in her area and
Uh-huh.
getting them to find a better path. And
Very cool.
very inspirational, very
Very cool.
inspirational.
So let's see. We have a couple. Well, this must be like obviously in the Hall of Fame. They have some displays.
Yes.
You got Smoking
So
Joe Frazier.
if you look below Joe, you'll see a fist
Yeah, you see it right there.
right by
Yep.
Smoking Joe, who is my favorite boxer of all time, by the way. That is the fist cast that will be done,
We'll be done with it when
and
you're
then
inducted.
you can actually, some of their fists are out, so you can put your fist
But
up
next to it. Oh,
and
cool.
compare to, and you're like, who is it? Foreman's? Oh my God.
Foreman's hands probably like this.
Yeah. It's like a freaking rock.
Meat hooks.
Yeah.
Then you got another display there. There's Ali's
Yep.
fist
His
cast
fist
there.
cast. Yep.
Very cool.
And that's
Very
again
cool
right
stuff.
inside the museum, which it's beautiful in there. They've done a beautiful job. They got a lot of uh, artifacts and stuff that
Sure.
you go back and you can see. Oh, just like
Robes and
Cooperstown.
clubs and shore. Yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
any other sports Hall of Fame. It has all this one
Right.
won that fight, this one won the Olympic gold medal or whatever, and it
Right.
shows that. So, but again, another picture of some more people we have here.
So this on let's see, would be my left, behind the A1 steak sauce is James Toney.
Yeah,
James,
I recognize him.
I would think most people do recognize that name. He was middleweight, super middleweight. He actually also he played Joe Frazier in the movie Ali, and he was heavyweight
Oh,
champ.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. The poor guy, he is really struggling.
Is he?
really strong. Yeah, yeah. It's taken us, like you remember Muhammad Ali in his later years,
Oh
with
yeah, yeah. It was
you
rough.
know, yeah. James he's not there, but he's heading
Right.
on that same path.
Yeah.
You look at him and you feel bad because they got hit in the head for a living.
Yeah. You ever get hit in the face 500 times a night?
Stings
It's
after a
hurt
while.
after a while.
Yeah, and it's like when, like I said this before, one of the boxers was telling Sly, he's like, you know, you what's the word I'm looking for? Inspired me to become a boxer. And Sly was like, no, 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 no. I'm not a boxer. I'm an actor. I can yell cut.
Yeah, exactly.
you know. And the middle guy there was Marlon Starlin. His ring name was Magic Man Marlon Starlin,
Magic
and
Man.
he's another super nice guy. Marlon Starlin. I actually, he gave me his email. I took pictures. He's like, "Can you send it to me?" I'm like, "Absolutely." you know, Marlon Starlin.
Oh, he asked you to email the picture?
Yeah, he asked me to email pictures to him. WBA
Very
welterweight,
cool.
middleweight champion, 45 and
Put that
6.
back. Let me put that picture back up real quick. So,
Yeah,
and
the
that's the
guy in the
gentleman in the
middle.
middle.
Yeah, and my
Okay.
apologies to the gentleman on the far right there. I just drawing a
With the
blank.
glasses.
Yeah, I know
Well, when
he's
you see so
very well
many, and
known.
no disrespect to any of the boxers, but when you see so many and they're not extremely well known or well known by you, it's tough to
Right,
remember all of them, or
and
know all of them.
he's older. He was
Yeah,
from
yeah,
a different generation,
different era.
and
Sure,
I just, you know,
sure.
my apologies, sir. you know.
Well, you have plenty more. You got some more here. Let's see what we got here. This is
Okay.
another good one. This is a good one. That's a great picture.
Yes, this is Manuel Rafael Marquez on my, well, it would be let's see, to the R side of my shirt, and
Okay.
Chiquita Gonzalez on the other side of my shirt. Uh,
Okay.
Rafael Marquez is a two-time world champion, IBF bantamweight from 2003 2007. Is the super bantamweight champion, and he was 41-9 with 37 knockouts. Chiquita was a four-time WBC junior flyweight champion. And let me
Ooh,
tell you a real quick story about these guys. We're not supposed to ask for autographs. We're not supposed to ask for pictures. We're
right.
there to do one thing, and that's provide these guys security.
Sure.
So they give us a red shirt, says event security on the back of it. And so I had worked at what was called the card show in the morning. And I stayed a little bit longer because I needed a little bit more help. And I'm like, okay, my shift is done. I brought my own shirt because I want to go over to the hall and I want to see what's going on. So
Sure.
now I'm on my own. I'm on my own dime, right?
Uh,
So I go over there, and I'm going into the over next to the hall. They have another building which houses the original boxing ring from Madison Square Garden,
oh
where
wow.
yeah, where Ali, and I think it was Ali and Frazier fought on.
Oh, cool.
I'm about 90% sure. It's gorgeous. It's amazing. So I go in there and I'm like looking for a hat to buy or a t-shirt or something. I come out and one of the security team sees me and they're like, "Rick, we need you right now." I'm like, "But I don't have my, we don't care." So like
Oh boy.
you need to escort Juan and Chiquita and make sure they get to the car. Because what happens is it's a 5-minute walk
Yeah.
and people will swarm.
Oh, sure. They come flying out of the woodwork. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're like parachuting in, you know,
Coming up out
and
of the bushes, like
yeah,
it's
I
sign
know.
this.
So my job is just to keep them back. Look,
Right.
let the fellas go. And they got their whole family. There was like 10 of them,
Oh boy.
and it was me. So long story short, I get them to their vehicle safely. No and I just neither of them spoke English.
Uh,
Neither of them. So I'm like, do you want to sign or do you not? You kind of ask
yeah.
them. Like, couple.
Okay.
I get them to the cars, and I'm like, guy, bye. And oh yeah, so they jump back out and they get around me, and that's when they did that. I'm like, I did not expect that.
The international symbol for camera. There you go.
Right. I wanted to ask their permission to take their picture in the vehicle.
Right.
That's all I wanted to do.
Right. They did. They figured they thought with you. So that's nice, though. Good.
And they jumped right back out of the vehicle after I loaded them all in. And, I'm like, oh my God, they were, the universal language.
So cool. That's cool, though.
They were great
people. Now they have the inductions. They have the, the Q&A. And obviously there's little shops or a shop for merchandise, whatever. But this picture here, well, obviously you could tell us who is in the convertible, which is a well-known boxer by there. There's some form of a parade, I'm assuming.
Yes, on Sunday they have a huge parade.
Okay.
This is the first time. Last year I did not do the parade.
Okay.
This year I wanted to volunteer because I wanted to see some different things. I could not believe. I mean, I bet you they had 8 marching bands.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, they had all the the boxers in either Jeeps or convertibles or whatever. Right. And in this picture is Mickey Ward and Dickie Eklund, and in the middle of them is I only know his name of Bean Shooter. I don't know. Yeah, that's what he told me.
There you go.
Mickey and Dickie, you can see their life story in the movie called The Fighter.
Yeah, Christian Bale and Mark Wahlberg.
Yes, which is very, it's a great movie.
Yeah,
great movie. Very enlightening. Very enlightening. Yeah. And
they definitely had their issues as a family and individually as well. It's a tough movie to watch a little bit. So but they made good for themselves. So good for them.
They did. I did not. I probably stood and talked with Dickie Eklund for about 10, 15 minutes. Strange conversation, after the life he's had,
Yeah.
He would kind of come in and out. Mickey was very busy. I was hoping to try to get them to come on the podcast sometime, but Dickie couldn't grasp the concept of it, and I didn't want to push too hard.
Sure, no, I don't blame you.
So, unfortunately, that didn't work out this time.
All right.
But, maybe next year.
Yeah.
Maybe next year I'll approach Kenny Bayless, and Kenny.
It seems like Kenny might be more than happy to come on. So
I'm thinking so. I think Kenny would be. Yeah.
By the way you're describing him and how nice he is and everything and what he's got, I think so. Might have to try to cross that bridge.
Yeah, because
this young lady here is another picture you have with somebody. Who's this young lady here?
This is Alicia Ashley. She has a very interesting story. Okay. Oh, sorry, I hit my.
Now, is she a boxer? Because I don't know the young lady.
She is a boxer.
Okay.
She was 37 and 12.
Ooh.
She was inducted this year. Super bantamweight champ. She is the oldest champion to ever be titled a champion, men or women.
Wow.
Even older than Foreman.
Even older than Foreman.
Now that's not even, I mean, that's impressive.
Sure.
This is even more impressive. I spoke with her for quite some time. She didn't start fighting until she was 31 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And the only reason she took up fighting was because she was doing kickboxing, and she took up boxing so she could get up her hand speed. Okay. For kickboxing.
Yeah.
Well, one thing led to another.
Yeah.
She became the champ.
That's amazing.
Can you believe it? I mean, it'd be like, you or me. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go downstairs, hit the speed bag for a while, whatever.
Get my hands fast.
Yeah, The next thing you know, you're the champ.
Wow.
I mean, starting at 31 years old. Tony.
That's the amazing part, because a lot of these fighters, as you know, following any boxing at all, most of them are like 12, 13 when they first start even training at all, or in the ring at all, sparring or any type of boxing. I mean, I've been to a boxing gym I used to go to when I was boxing in my teens and early 20s. Not that I boxed in any capacity of these young people, but the gym was full, not full of these younger people, but a lot of them are. I look around, I was like 16, 18, 19 years old. And I'm looking around, these guys like 12, 13, 14. I'm like, wow.
Absolutely.
And I went in there at 16. I mean, and I just went in to learn how to fight. And of course, seeing Rocky, I wanted to try and do all that stuff. But a lot of them are so young to not do it at all till you're 31. That's amazing.
That completely blew my mind.
And impressive too, because think about the talent and the physical condition she needs to be in, and already in her 30s. And as a woman, obviously your metabolism is slowing down tremendously as a woman. 30 to 40, it's a big difference. I mean, so that's amazing. Good for her.
She impressed me to no end, and just the suit. So again, after I walked Juan and Chiquita to their vehicle, I'm like, okay, now I want to go back over to the gift shop and get something.
Keep trying to buy things.
I'm like, I want to go back. So I'm heading back, and one of the board of directors sees me and grabs me. He's like, Rick. I'm like, what? We need you to go over and take care of Alicia Ashley. I'm like, well, you're lucky it's her, because I like her. So I'm like over there, and I was there with her probably 20 minutes. We're just shooting the ball. We got some pictures with her, and just a super. I'm going to say most of these people, 95% of these celebrities, boxers, athletes, are just down to earth.
That's cool.
And you got to remember, and I know that you know this, but most of these people, this is where they made their living. This is how they got out of the streets.
Yeah, for the most part.
This is the only way they knew.
Yeah.
Which is even more impressive, because it was either that, or it could have been drugs or whatever.
It could have been drugs. It could have been jail. It could have been dead. There's a lot of avenues that are not good that they could have gone down, because we're not saying anything to be any type of derogatory way, but you're right. The majority of people that get into boxing are from the streets, from lower income,
inner cities,
absolutely inner cities, single parents. I mean, they usually do not come from the best of backgrounds. Usually,
right.
And you're right. I mean, their only way out is that. Yeah. And even if they do it moderately, they don't have to become Mike Tyson and be champ of the world. They could be, adequate at what they do. Couple title, lightweight fights. Maybe become a trainer like that other gentleman did.
Right.
And start training people. But it got them out of that situation that they were in to be a better life for themselves.
And nothing but respect. Nothing but respect for these people.
Well, the last picture we have here, I don't know who this gentleman is here. You told me earlier, but I forgot. And I'm not sure who that is there. But there's somebody announcing, I'm assuming, a Q&A.
Oh, okay. So that is Tim Bradley Jr., inducted this last year. He is the light welterweight champion, 37-2. He that was at the induction ceremony last year.
Okay.
That last year was called the trilogy. Because of the COVID years, there was no induction ceremony. So they had a class. They had a 3-year class going in, and they had names like Mayweather,
right?
Lou DiBella. I mean, there was. I'm drawing
heavy hitters. Yeah,
there were some heavy hitters.
Do you happen to know the word I'm looking for, like the rules behind it? I mean, I know like if you're a baseball player, you have to be not playing for 10 years, or is there any rules behind that?
I can't speak to that with certainty. I'm not quite sure.
Because I'm assuming, I mean, I heard you say Mayweather, and Mayweather's technically retired, even
Yeah,
though he's doing some of these crazier fights right now. But I didn't
right.
know how it worked, if they had to be retired from boxing for so long, or
I do believe so. I'm not quite sure of the time, that they had to be out, but yeah, that trilogy that year, last year, there was the panel took up the full entire stage. Now, this year there was 5 inductees. It was a lot calmer. Last year was a zoo, was a freaking zoo, you know, with all
okay,
these heavy hitters, as you say, people are climbing over
yeah.
you, and I wish I could remember, I mean, Mayweather, he had a 5-car entourage, you
Oh, I believe it. Yeah,
you know, and
his bodyguards are 15 times the size of him.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tony, you and I are bigger than a lot of these people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when they're featherweights and fly, and
Yeah.
again, they could wipe the floor up with us. But it's
Oh
like
yeah,
when
I wouldn't want to fight
looking
them.
at them, when they're 110 pounds, 114 pounds, 125 pounds, it's 100, 130 pounds less than we are.
And it's
So,
muscle.
yeah. Oh, and lightning speed,
Yeah, they are.
lightning.
Yes.
I could only
Yeah.
imagine.
But yeah, there was one more picture. I don't know. It was the one when I was in my red shirt with the my Jeep in the background.
Oh, I don't have it up here. I'm sorry. I do not.
Oh,
No, let me see. No, I don't. That was the last one I had on the plate
okay.
there. If you tell us
Well,
about it, I could try to still dig for it while you're telling the
okay.
story.
So the gentleman in the photo I'm with his name is Junior Jones. Junior Jones was it a 4 or 5 time? He was a 5-time WBO super bantamweight, IBO featherweight, super featherweight, and one of the nicest men you'll never understand.
You'll never understand?
Never. I have a hell of a time, but he is so funny. He's from
What?
Brooklyn, or he lives in
Okay.
Brooklyn with his
Okay.
wife Barbara. So last year, I left the card show, a trading show. They have posters and box of memorabilia and all. They got a lot of really cool stuff, right? So I left the card show and I was on my way home, and just before I got on the throughway, one of the CEOs or whatever calls me. Rick, are you heading home? I'm like, yeah. I got to go home, take a shower. I got to put on my monkey suit and get back up to the casino because I'm doing the induction ceremony. He's like, can you drop Junior and Barbara
While you're
Jones
telling
off?
this story, I did come across the picture, so let me throw this picture up there
Yes,
real
there we
quick.
go.
There
Junior
you
Jones.
go.
That
There he
man,
is.
he is, yep, unbelievable. So I'm like,
All
yeah,
right,
I
so
can
you
drop
had to
him
go take
off.
a shower real quick and
So I'm like, yeah, I can drop him off. I
whatever
said,
from
but
there.
I said, the problem is I got my Jeep. I drive a 98 Jeep Wrangler
Uh,
with a 5-speed. I'm like, how the hell am I going to get them in there? They're like, we need to get them to their hotel so they can get changed. I'm like, if they don't mind, I don't mind.
right.
So I pull up and I'm nervous. I mean, I'm going to be escort. I'm driving these guys, and it's not like I'm driving a limo when they're in the
Right.
far back. They're sitting right. So Junior's trying to get in the back seat, and I'm struggling with the just to get the passenger seat up, right? And I'm like, oh my God, of all days, why today? So Junior starts to climb in. I just give him
Give
a
a
shot.
heave-ho.
He falls in the back seat. He's laughing his ass off. His wife Barbara's laughing. She gets in the Jeep. Now I got the big 33s on the
Uh,
so you can't even
yeah,
hear each other
I
talk.
was say, you can see them right there.
Yeah, right. So we're going down the throughway. Now that's 65 miles an hour downhill.
Right.
Top speed.
Oh my
So
God.
it's a very quiet ride as far as conversation because you'd
Sure.
be yelling at each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get into the hotel and I get Barbara out. I'm I get Junior out of the back seat, and we're laughing. And I'm like, all right, guys, I'll be back. I said, I'll grab the other car, Deb's car,
Right.
and which is newer. So, it'll be a lot, have air conditioning. It'll be nice,
Yeah.
And they're like, well, do you want to get a picture? I'm like, well, I'm not supposed to ask. They're like, we're asking you. We want pictures with you because we're talking about this for a long time. So flash forward to this past weekend. I'm Junior. We're at the church where the boxers are getting ready to get on the bus to go back to the Turning Stone for another ceremony on Sunday after the parade. And two people walk up to me like, you look really familiar. Now, I've never seen these people before. I'm like,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know. They're like, I don't, whatever. And then they're like, oh, yeah, we're with Junior Jones. I'm like, oh, my God. I said, is he not a character? I mean, because he is. He's like out of control. They're like, that's where we know you're the one who drove Junior Barbara last year. We saw the pictures. We heard all
He showed the pictures. Oh my God, that's funny.
Oh my God, if you could have been a fly on the wall that day.
Too much.
Yeah.
See, they were asking you for a picture.
Yeah, right. So much fun.
That's good. That's awesome, man. It sounds like it's a good time. It sounds like anybody that's a boxing fan should check it out.
Absolutely.
Head up there. It's upstate New York area, obviously by Rick up there. But definitely, it sounds like it's an amazing time. Especially during induction weekend.
Oh yeah, it's to get through the Hall of Fame. You might be an hour. It's not like Cooperstown.
Right.
It's small.
Okay.
It's probably the size of a ranch house.
Okay.
And then, like I said, there is a separate building that houses the ring and the merchandise.
Right.
Which has got other souvenir or stuff like
memorabilia and stuff.
Thank you.
Right.
Stuff that Ali has donated, Larry Holmes.
Right.
Oh, by the way, we watched that George Foreman movie, Big George Foreman.
Any good?
So good.
Really?
So good.
I'll have to check it out.
Very good. Yeah.
Check it out.
Very good. And I heard you saw something too.
Yeah, we saw The Flash on yesterday on Father's Day, and it was entertaining. It was fun. It's fun to watch. We could. I don't want to go over anything, obviously, because it just came out, so there's spoilers if I'm to say anything.
Right.
But maybe a few weeks down the road we could talk about it. Some more DC movies or something. But it was definitely entertaining, and it was worth seeing. It was fun.
Good. I definitely do want to catch that.
But the Big George Foreman movie, I got to check that out because I saw that come out, and I know we had discussed doing a boxing movie episode, so I might have to go watch that and polish up on The Fighter and $1 Million Baby and a couple of the others out there.
Yeah,
we can do that as well. Southpaw.
Southpaw was very good. George Foreman movie. It was definitely worth a watch. And I know we were young. We might have been 7 or 8 when Foreman fought Ali.
That sounds about right, give or take.
There was a bit of that in there.
Sounds about right. Like we talked about before. I mean, I remember watching the Ali fights on ABC Wide World of Sports.
Yeah.
It was for free.
Right, and they had a pretty good representation of like Howard Cosell.
Oh yeah. Oh cool.
Yeah, they had actors.
Cool.
I don't really have a bad thing to say about it. It was a good movie.
Nice, good stuff. Well, I appreciate it, Rick. You had a lot of pictures there. We had a lot of good stuff. That was a good time. Wish I went with you.
I wish you could have. If you ever come up this time, I'll get you right on the staff. You can volunteer with me.
Oh,
it's cool. Funny. It's funny, and I know we're going to end here quick, but it's funny. So I'm at the collector's show, and I got a line of hundreds of people in front of me, right? And I have to let them through one at a time.
Oh boy!
Why they picked me, I don't know. But I'm like, seriously. So I'm trying to be fair, let people in. And one guy walks up to me and he's like, I want your job. I said, okay. I'm like, here, you can have the T-shirt. The pay sucks. And I can't even get pictures or autographs. So You want to trade now? He's like, what?
I know they automatically think you could do everything, and I mean, you know, let's face it, a lot of times you can, as you just showed us, you can get pictures here and there, but it's not like people think it is. You know,
No.
where you could just have a lot of access to them, so you got to be professional. But
they're thinking we're getting paid, and they're like, dude,
yeah,
I'm here volunteering to do this.
Exactly.
You want to give me any guff? Go ahead.
Well, it sounds awesome, and I appreciate it. It sounds like a good time, and like I said, anybody that is interested in going to check it out, definitely head up to upstate New York, go to the Boxing Hall of Fame and see what it's like.
Worth a visit.
All right, my brother. Another good episode.
Yes, sir.
What episode? Oh, it's episode 49, by the way. Forgot to even say that.
Was it really?
Yeah, episode 40. Next one is episode 50.
Holy cow.
50. Well, what was that? The golden anniversary, I think? I don't know.
Jeez.
Anyway, I will see you. Thanks for everybody for watching, and I will see you next week, my friend.
You got it, buddy.
All
Take
right,
care.
brother. I'll see you. What's up?